So let's talk about Frank Ocean, the only music artist who can maintain total mainstream relevance without being involved in the media or dropping any music. In the span over this past decade, he's become countless people's favorite artist, and it seems strange that dropping music isn't something he feels obligated to do. Although, after researching, I found more about Frank's career and if there's any specific reasons why he isn't dropping music. And with what I found, I have two explanations for you guys. And in this video, I want to go over those theories and really figure out why Frank Ocean barely drops music. But first, let me give you guys a little background check and help you understand why Frank Ocean is so special. 2010 is when Frank Ocean's own music career started. Gaining notoriety due to his songwriting for mainstream artists in the late 2000s, it really helped him build ties with some bigger names. He would eventually join a team called Odd Future. We all know what that is, all I gotta do is show you the logo. And this group also consisted of another Grammy-winning artist who was Tyler, the Creator. And a year after joining Tyler, he would drop his first mixtape, and that was Nostalgia Ultra. This was in 2011, and it instantly received love. Just due to the sole fact, his music was amazing, you couldn't not fuck with it. And after that project, he dropped a few more singles, one of which being Think About You, which will go absolutely viral and still to this day slaps. But his next project, Chanel Orange, will come out only a year after his first mixtape, and in the matter of months, he became a universal superstar, even winning a Grammy for this album. This was his first mainstream album and he won a Grammy for it. But little did we know, the media presence we seen from Frank in 2011 and 12 when he was doing interviews, award shows, talking on Twitter, all of that would sadly come to an end. And he would lay low from the public for 4 whole years. Until he finally dropped his next project, and the name of this project was Blonde. And once again, despite the little marketing Frank Ocean did, this album would display superstar numbers. The fans' anticipation for this album were as strong as ever, even after those 4 years, which is rare. And now, being 6 years since he's dropped his last project, fans are still waiting. But surprisingly, his hype hasn't died down even a little bit. He's still just as relevant. And that just speaks volumes, because most singers who go without music for more than 2 to 3 years usually have a very hard time regaining that hype. But not Frank. Whether it's his amazing voice, beautiful melodies, there's something different about Frank that millions of artists have tried to recreate, but no one can. So I'm done wasting your time. Let's get right into these theories. I want to start with the first one, and that's that he simply made it. Music is no longer his main purpose. It was 15 years ago when he started making music. And with how high his numbers are and with no new songs, sitting back and letting the bread come in doesn't sound too bad. Traveling, chilling, spending time with your family. Meanwhile, your music from 10 years ago is blowing up all over again. Sounds like a W. Winning a Grammy off your first mainstream project can change the way you live everyday life. And I'm sure a lot of doors open for Frank very quick. Some doors that maybe he even wasn't ready to go down. Enough for him to just say, fuck all this shit, I'm trying to fall back off this Hollywood shit and just be a regular person. Just because someone is talented and you could become a megastar doesn't mean they want to be associated with the demonic ass controlling music industry. And with Frank, 25 million monthly listeners and 100% profit of his 2016 album Blonde, my need to hit the studio would also be at an all-time low. Not everybody is Drake and wants to be #1 forever. Some people really just want a bag, and I respect it. And somehow with Frank, the laying low and short catalog has truly done nothing but help him. It's made his music almost sacred. But who knows? At this point, music may not even be something that Frank Ocean sees as his career. He rarely performs, he isn't involved in social media. I mean, besides a few features and appearances on other work, he basically remains in his own world far away from the music scene. And it really just seems like he already made it in his eyes and he's not trying to be all involved in the media. He just got his bag and he's gone. Although that first explanation to me feels a little unlogical. And after really looking into it, the second reason is the much more fact-checked real explanation for Frank's disappearance. And as much as people think that Frank just hates his fans, the reality for why he isn't dropping is actually a lot more complex than people think, and it goes beyond just one reason. It was truly a string of events that led to him not dropping music. And if you're like, hey, how do you know this? Well, let me say I'm tapped in with the best of the best. I'm tapped in with real sources, my boy. What do I mean by that? I hopped on Reddit. you know who's on Reddit, because there's really nobody more tapped in than people on Reddit. And after finding a link, a Redditor had claimed that Frank Ocean finished the album in 2020, and the initial reason he didn't drop was because COVID. And you know, that makes sense. You weren't able to tour. That's a major reason, you know, maybe just push it back because nobody knew how long it was gonna be for at the time. And after looking at a few more, another Redditor actually added saying that he already had merch done too for this drop. So this shit was really done and finalized in 2020. This was followed by plenty of more people sharing their opinions and thoughts on where Frank had really been. I seen a comment that talked about the second event leading to Frank now dropping music. And that was that in 2020, he lost his little brother in a car accident. And man, just after hearing that, I understand if he wanted to take 10 years off. When anybody in your family dies, it's tough, but somebody young like that, it will take years to heal as a family. And meanwhile, in 2020, when all of this was going wrong for him, the thing is, on TikTok, his old music from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, was regaining hype. And when I say regaining hype, I mean this shit was going viral again. Going viral for the same work that he already went viral for. That's the power of TikTok. And with that said, the reality of Frank Ocean not dropping music, it doesn't stem from him not wanting to be involved in the music industry and living off his old hits, but that he truly didn't drop his project due to his brother passing, due to COVID, and TikTok blowing up his old songs. It helped him actually stay up while laying low. And that's because he's so talented that it will always shine, you know what I'm saying? His music's timeless. I don't think he could ever fall off. And with what the Frank Ocean Reddit fans are saying is that other than his recent 3 years, Frank was fully indulged in music and even planned to drop his album in 2020. A lot of the Frank fans said that he was consistent up until that point because he was like an every few years album type artist. And he still is, it's just been 6 years, so where you at? I truly do feel that he will eventually return, but with his brother passing, that being the main reason that it just seems like music is not something he even cares to put out, especially if you're in a low state. You don't want to record, but if you're in a low state, you also don't want to drop. You know you're about to be getting millions of fans on you. You're about to be getting so much praise. Man, when you lose somebody around you, shit like that don't even feel right. You're feeling like God, meanwhile your family's all struggling because you just lost your little brother. It's just deep, so I understand if he wouldn't want to drop music for a little while. And the thing about Frank fans is they're not going nowhere. His next project's kind of looking like GTA 6. Like, we know that shit's gonna come out eventually, and we know we're gonna listen when it comes out. So it's like, all we can do is just patiently wait. And you know what I'm saying, wish Frank some positive energy, because people like to throw that, oh, it was 3 years ago. Man, that shit could still bother him every single day. That's some shit you live with for the rest of your life. But it's been your boy 10 Toes, and I'll catch you boys in the next one, man. Thank y'all for watching this video.